Here it says, what statistical measure changes when every number in a data set is increased by 10? So they're giving us options: range, mean, standard deviation, and interquartile range. Now in our course, we haven't talked about standard deviation yet, so we're not going to even consider that. We're going to look at A, B, and C, or A, B, and D, and if none of those are the answer, then we'll assume the answer is C. So when they give us a problem like this that's in our head, they're not actually giving us any numbers, I like to come up with a really easy set of data and test it out. So let's look at this data set. This is our original data set. Now let's increase each of these numbers by 10. And let's look and see how each of these might change. So first of all, range. Range is the range of numbers. It goes from this number to this number. How many numbers are within that range? So if it starts at 2 and it goes to 12, how many numbers are between 2 and 12? To find that out, you just subtract the biggest number minus the smallest number. And we see the range is 10. Now let's do the same for our new data set. The biggest number minus the smallest number. Our range is still 10. So that did not change when we increased every number by 10. Now let's look at the mean. The mean is found by adding up all the numbers and dividing by the number of numbers that you added. So in this case, when I add them up, I get 42, and there were 6 numbers that I added. So when I divide that by 6, I see the mean is 7. Now let's do the same for the new data set. So yeah, that one changed. It was 7, but then when we added 10 to each of the numbers, it increased to 17. So that looks to be the answer. Remember, we haven't learned about standard deviation, but let's just check interquartile range just to feel a little bit more confident that the answer is B. To find the interquartile range, you first want to write your numbers in order from smallest to biggest, and you want to find the quartiles. First, you find the median, which is quartile 2. So where is the middle? It's going to be right here in between 6 and 8. So you need to ask yourself, what number is between 6 and 8? 7. Or you could have added 6 plus 8 and divided by 2 and see that is 7. So this is the median, or we call it quartile 2. Now you look at the numbers below the median, and you find the middle of those, and that would be 4. So this is our quartile 1, and then you look at the numbers above the median, and you find the middle of those, and that would be 10. So that is quartile 3. So these are quartile 1 and quartile 3 are the edges of a box and whisker plot. And the line in the middle is quartile 2, the median. So if you were given a box and whisker plot, the box represents the interquartile range. It's saying how many numbers are between quartile 1 and quartile 3 within that 50% of the middle data. So all you do to find the interquartile range is you subtract quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And we see that it is 6. Now let's do the same for our new set of data where we've added 10 to each number. Again, the middle is in between 16 and 18. It would be here at 17. So that represents quartile 2. And then you find the middle of the numbers below that quartile 2. This is our quartile 1. In the middle of the numbers above our median, our quartile 2. And so this is our quartile 3. And then lastly, you subtract how many numbers are between those quartiles within that middle 50% of the data. So you do 20 minus 14, and we also get 6. So the interquartile range did not change when we added 10 to each number. So we know now that the answer is not D. Since we don't know what C is, Hopefully we feel pretty confident that the answer is B from our example.